Merrick Garland was deeply embittered by that. He said, "Hey, I nominated for the Supreme Court, but I don't get a hearing. I don't get a vote." No, he didn't. But now he's the Attorney General, and he's weaponized this, and he doesn't care about the rule of law. He's just crushing Republicans, and you see it over and over. So that has happened. As far as the impact on Trump, I mean, what I ask myself is, Trump is, I always go back to that Elton John song, "I'm Still Standing," and I like the song. It's got a nice melody, but it's like, no matter what you throw at me, I'm still standing. Well, so far that has been true of Trump. Here's Trump's political problem, then I'll flip to the legal problem. He has the most solid base I've ever seen. And there's a park down the street from where I live. There's a guy sets up 4 or 5 like beach chairs in the park, minds his own business, but he's got these Trump flags, American flag with Trump's picture on it, and Trump and all this. And by the way, it's a very liberal neighborhood, but he just sits there and enjoys the day and invites his friends. He's not a protester. He's not burning anything down. He's just got his Trump flags. So that base is, you can't touch it. You can't budge it. But the problem is it's 40%. You can't win with 40%. Now you need, technically you can say you need 50% plus one, but it's not even that. You need 50% plus one in a set of states that collectively have 270 electoral votes, which that formula doesn't mean more than 50% of the country. It could be 44% of the country, but if you get the right states, you win. But Trump needs that extra 5 or 7 or 10% in a certain number of states, and he can't get there. The 40% doesn't go down, but he hasn't shown the capacity to make it go up because of the Trump haters, basically, and the independents who don't want to go his way, and the women. But they're half the electorate. So that's his problem, and he has not shown the capacity to kind of grow out of that and appeal to the middle. And I'm not saying he should change his positions. He won in 2016, and partly because Hillary was like the worst candidate. Hillary Clinton was the worst candidate. He was fortunate in his choice of opponents. But now that, anyway, so they're pretty interesting.
I just want to alert everyone to an important video that you've just recorded that will not be available to the public. Here, you discuss the upcoming geopolitical shockwave of what you call the most significant development in international finance since 1971. But then you explain how anyone can position themselves to profit from this crisis. Our viewers can access that video at londonreal.tv/Jim, and I highly recommend that everyone go watch that immediately after our conversation.
Trump could win against Biden because Biden is so unpopular, but we got these 2 wild cards, Manchin and RFK. We talked about all that. Let's turn to the legal side. Trump was indicted by a New York County prosecutor on state charges, not federal charges. Okay, so he's awaiting criminal trial. Well, the process has started, but he was arrested and booked, and awaiting criminal trial on that. He was indicted the other day on a host of federal charges, all felony charges. I don't know the exact numbers, like 7 or 8, but they all carry like 7 to 10 year sentences. I mean, in theory, could you get the Madoff treatment, a 100-year sentence? I probably only lived 10, 20 years, but 100-year sentence, not impossible. There's another state grand jury sitting in Georgia that, by all reports, may indict him for tampering with the Georgia state electoral process, calling the Secretary of State and saying, "Hey, can you find me some votes?" Whatever. Not that that's never happened before. And then he's also under criminal investigation on the January 6th charges. Now, this indictment that was just handed up, by the way, reporters always say indictment was handed down. Indictments are handed up to the judge. So that's a pro tip. If you hear a reporter say handed down, they don't know what they're talking about. The indictment was handed up. That was on the mishandling, so-called, of the classified documents. But there's another grand jury sitting on his actions on January 6th. So you could be looking at 2 more sets of indictments on multiple charges. So at what point is even the guy who you can't take him down, suddenly it's like you're a defendant in 3 separate criminal cases, or maybe 4 separate criminal cases, 2 state, 2 federal, 4 grand juries, all going on at the same time. How do you even show up your testimony? I'm not making light of it. I'm actually quite the opposite. I'm saying there could come a time when that base erodes, when people say, you know what, it's just too much. It just hurts my head. Maybe there's something to it. Of course, that's exactly what the Democrats want. And by the way, the prosecutor in New York and Georgia are Democrats. This is part of the weaponization thing we talked about. You know, where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, how many, you know, if it's 4 cases, but there's 7 or 8 counts each, like 30, 40 federal and state felony. These are felonies charges. At what point does it possibly wear him down despite his energy, wear the electorate down? And by the way, they don't want any of these trials over quickly, because what do they want to do? They want to drag him into 2024. So Trump's going to be going around to New Hampshire, Iowa, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, running for president, but he's going to be going around to Georgia, New York, and Washington and Miami, defending himself against criminal charges. I mean, how does that work? And it is unprecedented, by the way. I'm not saying there's a glib answer, because there's never been anything like it in U.S. history.
Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I am just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
This course has been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.